Today, I'm going to be giving you a full analysis on Venus retrograde in Capricorn. And I'm going to be showing you how it'll affect you personally. And hopefully, you can gain some insight into what specific areas of your life Venus will be rewinding for you. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to get notified whenever I post a new video. So, first of all, in this video, I'll be breaking down who exactly Venus is, what she's like in Capricorn, and more specifically, what happens when she's in retrograde. Then I'm going to be going into how this retrograde will be uniquely affecting each astrological sign. I want to live again. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of this video. That's when I'll give you the dates for when she'll be going into the retrograde, when she'll be going back direct again, and when she'll be coming out of her shadow phase. So you can better prepare yourself for what's about to unfold. I'm Blake James. I've loved astrology since I was 12 years old. In fact, I love it so much, I read birth charts for a living now. If you'd like to know more about that, I've left a link to my website in the description below. Venus is a planet of harmony, unison, love, legendary beauty, and abundance. She rules both Libra and Taurus, and the second and the seventh house. She encourages art, love, gentleness, politeness, vanity, and codependency. With Venus being in Capricorn, her warmth and beauty may become a little bit more bitter, cooler, and perhaps she might outgrow her codependency lifestyle and focus more on the status of her relationships rather than the pleasing qualities. She will become more focused on how she looks in the public eye, with or without her partner. She'll incorporate love and beauty into our work lives. When Venus goes into retrograde, it simply means that any progress or solutions or gifts that she's brought to us will need to be confiscated and taken back into review for some last minute changes. Once she's taken a second look to check things over, she'll go direct again and proceed with the new adjustments that she made during the retrograde. Venus retrogrades always last 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah, just like the famous 40-day, 40-night story. So whatever it is that you're trying to give up right now, watch out for any temptations that try to reel you back in. To make things even more tempting and difficult, she'll be rewinding over Pluto, who's also in Capricorn. So this Venus retrograde will be one of the most intense ones we'll ever get to experience in our lives. And for anyone who's born between 1979 and 1985, this retrograde will be 10 times more intense just for those people. If you know your ascendant, aka rising sign, I suggest that you watch the breakdown for that sign first, before heading to the signs that correspond with your sun or your moon. As for this video, the sign that corresponds with your rising sign, aka your ascendant, will be the most accurate description. You can find all the signs listed in the description below, with a corresponding timestamp. Let's get into it. Let's go, boss. Aries and the collective. Well, Aries, Venus is going to be retrograding in your 10th house, and that's also where Pluto is. It's been there for the last 12 to 13 years. Okay. So, what is the 10th house? The 10th house is your house of career, success, achievement, rewards, your public persona, your career, your ambitions, your maturity, your responsibilities, your occupation. So, what's Venus doing? Well, this is the area where you've been growing the most over the last decade. So when Venus comes into it every once in a while, she puts a little bit more ease onto it. So last week, you probably saw some breakthroughs in that area of your life, but now she's going to be going retrograde. So that means that everything that you saw last week is going to be kind of taken away from you for a little while. Are you a boss at your job? Have you been promoted to being a boss? Did you just get a new boss? Well, if you are a boss, maybe this is the time where you're going to have to take sort of a back seat and let other people take over. Or if you've just made some new connections with your work life or with new colleagues or a new boss, then maybe this is the time that you're going to have to rethink some of those connections and rethink what just happened with some of those people. Many times, a lot of times, maybe you've even thought about giving up, but you've made a lot of progress the last couple of years. Keep going. Don't give up. You are going to see some rough patches over the next few weeks, but I'm here to assure you that it's not going to last. You need to keep going and keep pushing through once this retrograde is over. Stay tuned to the end of the video so you can find out when those specific dates will be. Taurus, we're having some ninth house action. Okay. The ninth house is about teaching, about being a mentor, about widening your horizons, about traveling, about expanding your mind, and about exploring. So, who is it that you're teaching? Where are you exploring? Where are you expanding your mind? Where are you gaining some higher knowledge? You've really grown into this teacher role or this mentorship for the last decade, and you've really grown with it. In the beginning, it was extremely hard, and it still is extremely hard for you, but you're really pushing through it. You need to keep pushing past it. But at the same time, over the holidays and well into January, you're going to have to kind of take a little bit of a step step back, you're going to see some slip ups. You're going to see the rug pulled out from underneath of you a little bit. After the winter's over, everything's going to be fine again. And go back into those areas that you messed up, where you need to make little adjustments on certain details. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video so you can find out exactly when those dates will be to watch out for. Gemini, the 8th house. Well, this is the house of shared resources, your partner's resources, your partner's money, other people's finances, shared finances, loans and taxes. It's also about your passion and sex and about the prosperity that you share with your partner. And Pluto has been here for the last decade. And actually, Pluto is the dispositor for the 8th house. So Pluto is at home here. So you've been having an extra rough time with figuring out a balance between you and your partner's resources. Maybe you or even your partner came into some inheritance and you're still trying to figure out how to grow that or invest that or where to put it. You've definitely made a lot of progress in that area. Venus came in last week and she probably gave you a little glimmer of hope. But I'm here to tell you that she's going to go retrograde back over Pluto again, and you're going to see some of those gifts sort of disappear and pull away from you. It's important not to get too discouraged, especially in the 8th house, because the 8th house can be quite traumatic, and there can be a lot of fears that come with the 8th house. It's also very intense, deep emotions, too. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video so you can find out exactly when those dates will be. Cancer, Venus is retrograding in your 7th house. Pluto has been there for a long time, and Venus is going to be there, well, not for as long as Pluto's been there, but Venus is going to be there a lot longer than what she normally would be. She's going to be there for 5 months. Normally, she's not there for that long, but this is going to be a long stay, okay? So if you can get through this retrograde, it's going to be smooth sailing after that. Well, your relationships have gone through the ringer. You've been having a lot of issues with one-on-one relationships for the past decade or so. And now Venus is over here. She comes over once in a while to cheer things up. And she did last weekend a little bit. And you get to see a little bit of positivity for once. So you're going to see those highs that she gave you dwindle a little bit again. Pluto has been in the 7th house, disrupting your peace for over a decade now, almost even a decade and a half. So you're going to see some more issues pop up again with your partnerships and relationships. Be sure to stay to the end so you can look for which dates to watch out for. Leo, your 6th house. Pluto is in your 6th house, and Venus will be retrograding in your 6th house. The 6th house represents your health, your daily routine, your reality, your work, even some people that work beneath you, organization and cleanliness. So maybe you've had a lot of trouble with organization and your daily routine and getting things in order. And maybe even your health. I'm not going to lie, that's been quite discombobulated a little bit lately. You've had some issues with that area. You've made a lot of progress and a lot of growth with it, but it's still not complete yet. You still have a lot of work to do. Over the last decade or decade and a half, this is an area of your life that you've really grown and matured in, and you still feel like you have a lot left to do. You almost have a sense of, is this area of my life ever going to be perfected? But there's definitely going to be a time where it will be much better. Now, Venus comes in and she does give a little bit of hope and a little bit of guidance and glitter when she comes through, and she gives a little bit of beauty and romance, and she just makes things easier when she comes in every once in a while. So she came in last weekend and you had a little sign of, hell, hey, I guess everything's going better in this area of my work and daily routine, and things are going a little bit better. Schedules are going the way I want them to go. But I'm here to say that there's going to be some bumps in the road when it comes to your schedules, your health, and your organization. Things are going to be a little bit chaotic over the next month or 2 months. So don't give up, because she's not going to be there forever, and she's eventually going to come out of retrograde. So be sure to stay till the end of this video so that you can see which dates to look out for. Virgo, 5th house, your children, your joy, your happiness, your sense of creativity, the hobbies you like to do. You've been going through a huge transformation in this area of your life, or your children have. You've seen huge growth and maturity when it comes to taking care of your happiness and your joy. I mean, look, we all deserve to be happy, and we all deserve to have joy in our lives. But at the same time, if Pluto is there in Capricorn, he wants you to actually take that seriously, Virgo. He wants you to actually be happy, and you have been happier than you used to be, especially this past weekend when Venus went right over Pluto, saying, I'm here to make things a little bit shinier. I'm here to make things a little bit brighter and bring you even more prosperity in your life. But then she's going to go retrograde. So over the holidays, it's not going to be the most sunshiny time. She's going to want you to take a look back at everything that you've gone through and everything that you've grown with. If you don't have kids, maybe it's something to do with your creativity, something that a passion project that you had. Maybe there's something that you've been working on for the last 10 years and you've been meaning to create it, and you've been trying to create it. And Venus came in to kind of give you the green light light, but now she's about to give you a red light and say, wait, hold on a second. We have to look over that again. We have to make some adjustments there before we can really move forward. So be sure to watch to the end so you can see which dates to look out for. Libra, fourth house. It's your house, your home, where you live, your dwelling, your personal space. What's going on with your personal space, your living situation, the people you live with, your mother figures, motherhood maybe. Maybe you're a parent, maybe you're your mom. Anything to do with domicile things, anything to do with domestic tasks. Your living situation or the home that you live in has been turned upside down and even turned into a tornado. The last decade or so has not been easy. Maybe you've been really struggling to get things in order when it comes to that area of your life. And this past weekend, you actually had a positive thing happen in that area of your life. Granted, it was over Pluto, so it was something, a big, huge change. It was something unpredictable that happened, but it was a positive, unpredictable thing that happened. When Venus goes retrograde over Pluto again, it's going to be another situation that's going to be unpredictable. It might even be the same situation, but it probably won't be a positive one. You might have to rethink and relook at what just happened last weekend. It could be painful, but it could also be quite transformative once it's over. So be sure to watch to the end so you can see which dates to look out for. Scorpio, third house. Anything to do with communications, your community, anything to do with talking, anything to do with siblings or relatives, but it's also to do with your community, your environment, neighbors, and communication, everything to do with talking and listening and dialogue. Scorpio, this is an area of your life that you're really maturing into. Maybe it was an area of your life that you thought was hopeless, something that you were terrible at. But over the last 10 years, you've really grown, especially over the last few years. And then Venus comes in every once in a while to cheer things up in that area and give you a little sense of glory there. She came in this past week and she gave you a little gift and a sense of accomplishment there, which wasn't entirely fun. It actually turned out to be a nice change. It's like a little hidden surprise when she goes over Pluto. Why are all these things happening to me? Oh, but then I get to spend time with this person. But then I get to spend time with that person. But then I get to talk to this person. And then I feel like I made a big breakthrough with this. It's going to happen again, but when it's going to happen again, she's going to go retrograde over Pluto. And when she goes retrograde over Pluto, it's probably not going to be as fun and as easy as it was this past weekend. So you might have to go back and fix those things or rethink what just happened. Be sure to stay till the end of the video so you can see which states to watch out for. Sagittarius, second house. This is your own money and your own finances. These are your own possessions. This is also the way you dress. This is the way you present yourself. This is your food. This is also your jewelry and your clothing and your makeup and how you do your hair and your nails. But the last couple of years, you feel like, okay, maybe I'm starting to grow in that area. Maybe I'm starting to take a little bit more confidence and pride in my appearance. Maybe I'm starting to get a little bit of a better hold on my finances. Maybe I'm starting to be a little bit more responsible and serious about my finances and the things that I own and the things that I have. And when Venus comes in, she's like, hey, good job. And she gives you a little bit of a reward. Maybe she gave you a boost. Maybe she gave you a little extra money. But that was this past week. And then when she starts going retrograde again, maybe some of those gifts are going to be on hold. Maybe some of those things that are in the mail aren't going to come. You're going to have to rethink some of those finances. So you are growing in that area and you're making a lot of progress. And you still have a couple more years left there. But that thing that happened with Venus this past weekend, it was an unexpected surprise, a good unexpected surprise. When she goes back retrograde over Pluto again, it's going to be another unexpected surprise, but it might not be a good unexpected surprise. So just keep that in mind. And don't be worried because when life does throw us those unexpected bad surprises, that's when the most growth and the most transformation happens. Especially here in Capricorn, that's when the most maturity happens. So be sure to watch the rest of the video so you can see which dates to look out for. Capricorn, first house. This is affecting your whole identity and your whole personality. You've been going through a huge transformation over the last decade or more. And you've hit quite a few hurdles. And it's been quite intense and very traumatic and extremely painful, probably too, especially for anybody, like I said earlier, for anybody that's born between 1979 and 1985, because it's also squaring your natal Pluto. So it's going to be double intense. Now, Venus came through this past weekend. She probably gave you like an unexpected surprise. Maybe somebody said, "Oh, hey, you look good." Maybe they kind of gave you some compliments or told you how much they love you. When Venus comes into the first house, it's really nice. It gives us an extra sense of confidence in who we are and our identity, which you really deserve because you've really gone through a lot and your body has changed and your personality has changed and your relationships with other people have changed and how other people see you has definitely changed. And you've finally seen some progress with how people have seen you in the last couple of years. And a lot of people are starting to respect you even more than they did before. Most people do respect Capricorn, but even higher respect now than it used to be. So when Venus retrogrades, I'm just going to say it's going to be another surprise with that, but it's not going to be as nice of a surprise as it was this time around. But like I said to all the other signs, sometimes those big, huge moments of even bad surprises can transform us into the best versions of ourselves. So hang in there, Capricorn. Don't give up. It's not over yet. Be sure to watch the rest of the video so you can see which dates to look out for. Aquarius, 12th house. Pluto has been in the 12th house for you for the last decade or more. Maybe a lot of you have been desperately dreaming of a vacation or a huge break. And you really deserve a huge break. Maybe a lot of you have been looking at moving somewhere. Maybe some of you are retiring or hoping to retire soon. Well, I'm here to tell you that you've really grown a lot in this area. It's also to do with our unconscious and our psychological feelings. And with Pluto being there, it's extremely psychological. So you may have found yourself to be a lot more emotional than you normally have been, especially over the last decade or more. And that's not normal for an Aquarian. Aquarians aren't used to being so emotional, but you have been. And something's really struck a chord with you. This whole transformation, once it's over in a few years, it's going to propel you into a whole new reality. And with Venus coming over on top of Pluto this last weekend, you probably had a sense of relief. Maybe you did get that break. Maybe you did get that sense of relief. Maybe you did get to go on a mini little excursion and you're working really, really hard for it. You probably did get some nice surprise. Oh, I actually don't have to do that today. Oh, I actually get to take the day off. That probably happened over this last weekend. Because let me tell you, you're starting to get really tired and maybe even irritable. But when Venus retrogrades over Pluto again, she's not going to give you a break. It's, oh, I have to do extra hours now to make up for those hours that I missed last week. Oh, I might have to work on Christmas. What? Oh, somebody called me and I have to go help them out. Unfortunately, you might see that over the next couple months, but it has to happen. We have to see these transformations occur. But once they're over, you can look back in retrospect and see, oh, okay. That's why it happened. So make sure you stay to watch to the end of the video so you can see which dates to look out for. Pisces, 11th house. I don't know what's going on with your friendships and the people in your lives, but you're really trying to escape them and you're really trying to detach and make some disconnections from people right now. It almost seems like they're trying to get a hold of you and they can't get in touch with you, or they keep catching up to you and you're trying to get away from them and trying to separate from them and trying to detach and make all these connections with other people and trying to disconnect with old people and connect with new people. It's been kind of a hot mess this last decade. Who are these people in your life? Did you finally get to break free from them this last week? Did you finally get to have a new connection with a group of people this week? Did you finally get to break free from those other people this week? You're trying to revolutionize yourself and associate yourself with a whole different community of people. But it's been very hard, traumatic, and even painful at times over the last decade or so. And Venus came in and kind of gave you a little opportunity of seeing some of those new connections or breaking free from some of those old connections. She gave you a bit of ease or a break. It was an unexpected surprise this last week that you had with her going over Pluto. A nice unexpected surprise. Oh, finally, I get to have a little sense of freedom and independence. You've progressed a lot with your sense of independence over the last decade, and you're doing really, really well. And you have to keep going. You can't stop trying. Venus is going to retrograde back over Pluto. She's going to give you another unexpected surprise, but it's probably not going to be as rosy and sunny as it was this time. Oh, I have to go spend time with this person at this place. Ugh, I thought I broke free from that person. I really wanted to spend time with this person instead. I was hoping to go spend time with that new group of friends, but now I have to go back to these people. Once this whole retrograde is over, you'll be able to look back in retrospect and see why it all happened. And you'll have a new outlook and you'll feel fresh and independent. So make sure to keep watching to the end of the video so you can see which dates to look out for. And that's it for my retrograde breakdown for each astrological sign. Now here are those upcoming dates to mark on your calendar with our special guest, Mr. George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life as our commentator. Venus is going to be going retrograde on Sunday, December 19th, 2021, at 5:30 a.m. to be exact, Eastern Standard Time, that is, before the sun even comes up. I mean, most of us will still be asleep. I mean, that's rude. That's how you know she's in retrograde, when she starts being rude like that. Am I right, George?
Hey, you kind of worry me, little fella. You got somewhere you need to go sleep? You got any money?
Then she's going to be going over Pluto again, but this time in a rewind motion on December 25th, 2021. Yeah, you heard me. That's right, on Christmas Day.
I say I wish I was never born.
Then on Sunday, January 8th, 2022, she'll be retrograding over the sun, transforming herself from an evening star into a morning star. She'll stay in the morning star period until October 23rd, 2022. So for those 9.5 months, you'll be able to see her before the sun rises instead of seeing her after the sun sets.
Well, you look to me about the angel I get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
Then on January 29th, 2022, she'll be going in direct motion again, and we can all say hallelujah.
Well, then you can swallow it, and it'll all dissolve, see? And then the moonbeams will shoot out of your fingers, and then your toes, and then the ends of your hair.
And on March 2nd, 2022, she'll be coming out of her shadow period, so we can finally breathe new life into her again.
I want to live again.
And last but not least, on March 6th, 2022, she'll be changing signs and moving into Aquarius. Still a chilly area for her, but at least she'll have some hope. Hey, George, who's that from?
It's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
If you found any value in this video, and I truly hope you did, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and check out my videos on each sun sign. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and happy holidays.